Hi guys, I'm Robbie, your friend from EnglishHarmony.com, and today I'm bringing you another English idiomatic expression. And today's phrase, or sentence actually, it's a sentence on its own, is there's no doubt about that. And it's self-explanatory, so it's not really an idiom, it's just a sentence. But this sentence is typically used by native speakers, or of course foreigners, who are diligent enough to learn all these idioms and expressions and use them in their daily conversations. And it's very handy to reaffirm that what you just said or what the other person said is 100% true, and that there's no doubt about that. Basically, that's what it is. There's no doubt about that. It's just that this particular sentence is said using the exact words. There's no doubt about that. And when you learn them, memorize them, and make them your second nature, you can produce this sentence with no effort whatsoever. It just pops out of your mouth, by itself. It just comes out in one go. There's no doubt about that. And you can use this sentence in two ways. First of all, you can use it as a response to what someone else says. You're speaking with someone and they're saying something, and in order to agree to their opinion, you can say, of course, John, there's no doubt about that. Or you can actually reaffirm your own statements. You can say something, and then in order to indicate that what you just said is definitely true, you can add this sentence in the very end, and you can say, there's no doubt about that. And here's an example. Say, for instance, you're discussing tobacco effect on health. And by the way, did you know, guys, that there are still people who believe that smoking doesn't necessarily kill you? They will say, even breathing in air these days might be harmful because of all the air pollution and everything. So there's really no guarantee that if you smoke, you're going to get cancer, and if you don't, you won't, because there are many people who get cancer and they've never smoked in their lives. So you may as well just smoke and enjoy life, And personally, I don't buy these rubbish claims because it is proven, it's science. And just to say that the concentration of harmful substances in the air is the same as in the cigarette smoke that you inhale into your lungs is just... It just doesn't make sense. How could anyone believe that? But people are entitled to have their own opinions. And then, say for instance, you're having an argument with your friends or someone else who are saying that smoking doesn't really kill, and some person might smoke and might not get cancer, and someone else might die from cancer not having smoked in their lives. And then you can say to all that, listen guys, even though there are exceptions, every rule has its exceptions. It's a known fact, but it doesn't render the general science and all the research data and everything, it doesn't render it invalid. It's still true. Smoking kills. Smoking gives you a much bigger chance of getting a lung cancer, and there's no doubt about that, guys. It's a fact. So you can use this phrase, there's no doubt about that, to reaffirm, to emphasize, to stress the point that you strongly believe that there's no doubt about the fact that smoking kills, and that's all there is to it, And here's another example. Say, for instance, someone tells you bad news. Typically, we are getting bombarded with bad news on a daily basis, and it's actually bad for our self-confidence and our self-esteem, because there's so much bad news going on in media. That's all we hear. Disasters and man-made catastrophes and wars and military conflicts and everything is going on, and murders and serial killers at large, and it's mind-boggling if you think about it. It's so dangerous just to exist on this planet these days, But what can you do? That's life. In daily conversations, someone will definitely mention bad news that they've heard on the radio or TV or read online or in newspaper. So this phrase, there's no doubt about that, is where you can respond to someone else's yet another story about what bad has gone on the previous day or previous night, what they've heard on morning radio show or morning TV news. So they're saying that this or that particular thing has happened, and then you can say, yeah, it's terrible, there's no doubt about that, or that, yeah, what the world is going to these days, it's shocking. We didn't get these things going on back in the day, there's no doubt about that, you know. So you can use this phrase, there's no doubt about that, as a way of finishing your statement where you completely agree with that person's opinion, to what they said, and you're saying, yeah, it's shocking, it's terrible, and so what can we do? It's true. Back in the day, those things didn't happen, and there's no doubt about that. The world is becoming a more dangerous place. There's no doubt about that. But I personally don't believe that the world is so much more dangerous than back in the day. Back in the day, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all these new means of communication, Facebook, Twitter, blogs, news websites that are updated not even daily but hourly and every 10 or 20 minutes, you know. Basically whatever happens in any spot on the planet can be known to the rest of the world within a matter of seconds. So it's not surprising that we basically hear about those bad news all the time. We just get to know those bad news. But like 20, 30 or 40 years ago, whatever happened in a local area probably stayed there, unless it was something very, very disastrous or sensational or shocking, and then it made the national headlines and possibly was mentioned in the world media, you know. I believe that the world is actually a much better place than back in the day, and I believe that the freedoms that exist in the Western society is the best thing that has ever happened to humanity, you know what I mean? Even though wars are being waged and all terrible things are happening, but the democracy and all the liberties and civil rights and all that is a very good thing, and anybody, any citizen in any normal country where liberties and civil rights are not breached and we can all live normal lives, you know, anyone can feel relatively safe. Like, bad things can happen to anyone, but I feel generally safe in my daily life, and I'm quite confident that the world is going to become an even better place, despite all the bad news we hear on a daily basis. Okay, guys, this video episode got a little bit too political, probably, but it's just that I can't refrain from expressing my personal opinion, you know, in these videos, because this is another way I can exercise, I can practice my spoken English. And despite the fact that when I go to work I spend 9 hours, well, 8.5 hours speaking with others in English, only English, I still enjoy practicing my own English on my own and keeping my fluency going, and I warmly suggest you do the same thing. And you may as well just consider buying a camera, a small flip camera that I have. It's called Flip Mino or something. You can just Google it up and it'll come up. It's the smallest and the cheapest HD, which means high definition camera on the market. And I'm using it to record these videos and publish them on YouTube for you guys to enjoy. Okay, thanks for watching and see you soon again in another video. Bye.